Here is how I built a weapon system using Codex 5.3 and Sprite Kit for native Mac development. What you're seeing here right now is the finished result. Ships firing from a real attachment points on the hull, fully configurable per ship and driven directly from my level editor. But it didn't start this way. Before this, every shot spawned from the center of the ship sprite. It worked, it was fun, but it wasn't a real system. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I built the weapon system with Codex 5.3 and Sprite Kit. How I structured it, how I wired it into the editor, and how it lets me iterate on enemy design much faster. This is Raptor Call of the Shadows. This was one of my favorite games growing up, and I started making this. This is a sort of a top-down, shoot 'em up type of game where you just keep shooting enemy waves after enemy waves. So let's zoom out. How do I zoom out? Okay. So here I want to get into weapon systems and enemies. And so in Raptor, there's a bunch of different things. I didn't even know anything about this. All I knew is that I had to dodge these things. So just seeing the types of enemy projectiles is really cool here. And then the bosses, how much you get for killing them. And what we really want to focus on today is what I'm calling these attachment points. So these are where the ships can shoot from. So you'll see this is a spot, this is a spot, this is a spot. So there's different types. And you'll typically see symmetry, but some of them have like extra guns and there's like a cockpit over here or something. These different guns probably shoot similar types of projectiles, and then the ones on the side shoot something different, like a missile or something. I don't know these specific ones because I haven't played boss fight in a really long time. I was just like a little kid. But you can just sort of see how these enemies have different gun attachment points. I remember getting wrecked by a lot of these. My brother was way better at this game than me. I was younger than him, so he was just like more skilled. All right, so if we go down here, we can see these are like the starting units. They have like a cannon in the middle, two gun turrets on the side, which are missile rocket launchers or missile launchers on the helicopter ships. These guys flew in formations. They were super cool. This guy was super fast. This guy sort of went side to side, and it looks like there's two different versions of it. There's mines. You got like a Y-wing, an upgraded attack helicopter. Oh, I totally forgot about this guy. These like things just like zoom past you if you get all the segments. That was super fun. And then different patterns. So like they would shoot and like move around. There's just so many things. And that's all the first level. Holy cow. I don't even think I got to this level. We never got this far. I never played this part. We also only had the shareware version, so I don't know like where that cut off. I don't know if that was just this first section. I don't know if we ever got to Tango. But there's like an incredible amount of variety. So we can see there's like 25 ships-ish. I don't know if these, it looks like there's some duplicate numbers. So I don't know how many ships we actually have plus the enemy. But like my goal is to like create something memorable like these. And in order to do that, I need some tooling to set attachment points. And this is pretty much you create the art and then you're like, okay, this is going to be a thing. So I've got some art. I don't love the art yet, but like it's a work in progress. So some of these are insane. So let's take a look at these. These two right here could be the cannons, right? I'm not sure if this is, I think this is an enemy ship, but I don't really know. Is this a player ship? I could go either way. Like this could be a player ship and these are just like the jet engines that I could have a particle effect come out of. And that would be really cool. Or if we think of it as like an attack ship, these are the two gun spots right on either side. Okay. Here's definitely a player ship. We've got gun turrets here. So this is where I would expect the bullets to come out of on the sides. And then maybe some other type of fire, like a laser fire from this gun. Okay. Here's another ship. This looks like it's probably a player ship. Well, no, this could be an enemy ship. So these are gun origin points. And so For the art style, I might want to have like a special like indicator of like this is what type of gun it is, and then these are like laser cannons, and this could be something else. So like you can just sort of come up with things, but the attachment points would be these things. This ship got malformed. Maybe that's a whole misfit style of enemies. Like I don't know. This one looks kind of cool. It could be a player ship, and then this is a gun, this is a gun, and then you've got your boosters down at the bottom that light up with some kind of particle effect. Like I could see this as a player ship. This one could be a player ship. It feels more friendly. This one's definitely like a boss. All right, so we've got the gun turrets here, here, and here. So what we need to do is we need to pick one of these and see if we can get a system in place. And so just the ones that we've looked at, I kind of want a boss. And where was that? This boss? Like if we could get that one hooked up, or I like one of these more, or this one. Okay, and so let's take a look at what the game looks like right now. So this is currently called Red Interceptor. I'm playing against one unit. Let's go into game mode so that you can see this full screen. And this guy is, oh my goodness, this guy is aggressive. So I've already got like an enemy unit thing. And so I should be able, I don't think all of these things work yet. I got some placeholders in here, and then I can change it so that it doesn't always shoot straight. Like they could do strafing runs to side, or they can go straight up and like shoot straight down. So I can edit all of this stuff live. I can increase the damage, the volley. Like if I want this to shoot more, this one doesn't seem to work all the time. We can change the ship scale so that they feel more menacing. And if they're moving too fast, like we can lower the speed. Um, so here you can see we've lowered the speed. One of the issues you have is like shot speed. Maybe you want the shot speed to be faster. And let's do fan. And I've got an auto turret on, so that sort of helps. Oh, these guys are tracking me. Oh, these are kamikazes. So that definitely makes it more difficult, as now you sort of layer in not only the shot system, but the attack. We could make them orbit, so then I can live update. So this is what they look like if they orbit. They're sort of moving back and forth. Weapon, we can make it aimed and sort of see what that looks like. So now they're shooting towards me. And so you can imagine like shots coming off these guns. I don't know if it's given me control of choosing the unit. I don't think it has. Um, and that's what we got right now. I've got a playtest mode, which will take me through different enemies, and I can sort of just jump between these different modes. So if I select this one, I can say play selected. We got this beefy guy. So right now, like it doesn't look like the shots are originating from anything interesting on the ship. And so that's one of the things that we want to try and fix up is can we do that? What does that enable? Like some of these, it might change the way we spawn the shots, right? So if it always comes from a gun and they always shoot forward, or if they can, like some of these might only shoot forward. Um, and we just have to figure out like what's going to make sense. Like this is a mine layer right now. Boom, I'm gonna die there. And then I've got encounters. This allows me to sort of see like we can play encounters where it's like almost like musical instruments, where we've got this sort of timeline progression of these are the types of units that are going to come on screen, and you have to sort of dodge them, and it makes it kind of interesting. So now these guys aren't really shooting me. I don't know why the encounters they're not shooting. Um, so there's some things to fix in this, but like this is a really exciting time because I've got this editor, I've got random level generation. The tile map's not set. Some of these guys are coming back now. Oh no. Um, and it's just kind of fun to just like try this. It's got these different patterns, and then we can just play these different encounters. There we got the misfit guy. And sort of see what works. Or we can just exit this. If we close the lab, then it can go into just normal gameplay. Like, here's a new level. There's 10 levels. This is called Harbor Entry. And we're just trying to stay alive. I'm not even using my main gun, so let's use my main gun. Okay, so we need one of these guys. I don't know which guy's gonna look cool. Like, that 2 booster gun guy might be kind of good. That one that just died. Um, Big chunky guy. And then over in the bottom right, you're gonna see difficulty rating. So this, I don't even know what these letters mean, but it's tracking a lot of telemetry of like what's on screen, how hard is it, how fast is it. Oh my goodness! Oh, that guy came back. Yikes! And so I don't even know what the units should do yet, but I know that I need building blocks and tools to do this type of stuff. Some of the ships don't look good if they come back and fly the wrong way. So you're just gonna have to figure out like what ship's gonna work for that. That one looks like a player ship. I'm shooting down a friendly. Yeah. So let's leave the game and let's start working on attachment points. We need fire pattern spread, random weapons, and then more playtesting. So the way this is going to work is I might take a screenshot of this. Okay. And then take a screenshot of maybe some of these boss ships. And we're going to go over to Codex. Let's start here. You are Bob. All right. Spelled that wrong. Okay, so what I'm going to do with Bob, and I know this is going to be probably a little hard to read. We're going to just start working on a plan. So let's go into plan mode. And I'm going to go in plan mode because it's actually really good in Codex. Maybe we'll make this a little bit bigger so you can read it. This wider. We'll bring it over here. Make this one a little bit bigger. Make this one. Let's go new here. We might use 2 different models. Okay. You are Jim. All right, so we've got 2 agents who are going to work for us. I'm going to use whisper flow so that when I talk, you're going to see me talking, it's going to go here. You'll see a little thing in the bottom center as I'm talking. And that will put this here. I can just do Control C to make that go away. And I'm just using the function key on my keyboard. If I do function key plus spacebar, then it will start this thing so you can see it right down. Okay. So I can hit cancel and go. And the nice thing about whisper flow is it will give us the ability to retry something and if it cancels. So let's go ahead. I need to work on a weapon system. I was playing Raptor and the different units have different attachment points. I want to pick one of our fighters and we're going to create attachment points on them in like an attachment point editor. So I need a new tab for customizing the attachment points and customizing the shot pattern. Like, what we have sort of works, but it doesn't really give me the control that I want. I want to control weapons so that they come from the origins of the attachment points. There may be weapons like missiles that are attached to the bottom of the wings, and maybe we can't always see where they're originating from. But I kind of want to try and make it as obvious as possible. And Raptor had these interesting attachment points for like their laser guns, which they called Theolite, a mini Theolite shot, and there was one that was homing and one that wasn't. I had no idea the difference. They look the same to me, so I'm really struggling to see that. So what we need to do is we need to come up with like some weapon systems and some ideas for um, like how we can structure this so that we can create enemies. I'm going to copy like the Bravo sector enemy ships, the bosses, as well as the weapons. So you're aware of like the types of things and the cost of things and how to think about this. But what we're really focused on is the attachment point. So I'll have some screenshots of that. Um, and I'll paste in this stuff. I really want to think about fire patterns. Like some of them are going to shoot straight forward. Some of them, like depending on the gun and gun mount point, it's like a omnidirectional thing. Um, and I think it has to read well. So we're gonna have to find an image for you to start with. And I just want to see that ship on screen, maybe enlarged 3x. And I want an editor so that I can drag different types of weapon systems out, or at least attach an attachment point. So I want to be able to drag that onto the screen, move it around a little bit, find the sweet spot, and then I want to be able to shoot it. So I want to shoot straight down, or I want to have like a target that it's chasing. Maybe there's something that's going side to side, like it's the player character. And all we have is that the weapon system is like firing towards it if it's tracking, or it's firing straight down, or firing diagonal, or if it's like spamming out shots. Um, Being able to control the frequency of shots, the size of shot, um, the direction of shot, the pattern, if it's like a duh, or if it's a duh, 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 um, or a something that's like insane and crazy, and it's like, oh no, I've got to move. And maybe that's like for a 1 second burst, and then there's a break to give the player like time to like shift out of the way. Um, I don't know if there's certain shots that are going to absorb the shot, like if you can shoot down some of these missiles, or if you can shoot down some of the laser bursts. I'm not sure what to call them. I think we need to come up with our own unique name and terminology. So that's something I want you to think about. And then the fire patterns of like, we want to create this kind of weapon system so that we have patterns on screen. Like the big thing about Raptor, the reason I like it is there's patterns that emerge from simple behaviors. So we compose different ships with simple behaviors. They have certain types of shots, and those different types of shots then allow us um, they allow us to move our ship around and dodge things. We can kill certain enemies to create pockets where there's safety, but we still have to dodge a lot of incoming fire. We have to dodge a lot of ships so that we can stay alive. So our main focus for the first task is to be able to edit attachment points. The next focus is controlling the types of shots that come out of those attachment points. If we have two attachment points, I'm expecting two shots to come out. They can be alternating where it's where it's side to side, or they can be burst where it's both, 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 or it can be boom, 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 where it's three in a row from both sides. Some of them are going to have rockets, and those are going to like spawn off and then like accelerate towards the player. But first, we're going to focus on I think the laser cannon. I don't know what to call them, so I'm going to need some naming help. So let's start there and see what we get. So I press, okay, we're done talking. I press the function key, and now it will paste in my text into this text thing. If I mess it up, I can always click on Whisper Flow and do paste/transcript, or I can go home. If it fails, you can see the whole transcript here. And you can see what we have. I can copy this. If this fails, they have a retry, which is super, super useful. When apps don't have this, it's super frustrating. All right, so that's why I pay for Whisper Flow, because it does all of this. So we're in plan mode. We're going to give this task to Bob to start planning out. Okay. I need some coffee. I don't know what he's doing with his. We already gave him a name, right? Okay. You are Bob. You are Bob. I don't know why that was a question. Okay, so I have the ability to run multiple agents. I give them each a unique name. So we've got Bob over on the left. He's reading the stuff, seeing what we've got, um, and he's going to work on that. Let's look at the editor again and see if there's something here that we're missing. So like on my unit thing, I really wanted the unit thing to like, I want this to sort of be that. It doesn't quite work. So maybe we should have light and shot preview. Oh, so is this when it shoots? Okay, we're gonna have to make this bigger. So let's play this unit and see what it does. And you see how that is originating from like, it feels like it's offset a bit. This one's not the best. I don't know how to change units. So right now we need to focus on one unit and then we'll make it so that we can do multiple units. So let's see what we have here. All right, so when we're in plan mode, it's going to ask us a bunch of questions. So I now have enough architecture context to shape the plan. Existing enemy lab has playtest unit encounter and weapon behavior is an enum driven plus a few volley knobs. I'm pulling serialization and test surfaces so that the next plan includes migration. We don't need any of that. Um, um, I don't know what it's recommending. We'll start with laser. We'll keep it simple. I want it to enhance. How do I go back? Tab to add nodes. I want to enhance and fix the unit tab. This should be based on that, but improve it. Okay, we gotta speak. Right now, not all of the controls in the unit tab actually work. So sometimes when I'm changing things, I don't see it behaving like I would expect. Adding more volleys doesn't always work for certain types of units. I'm not sure if there's more to it, but this needs to be like, I kind of envision like the unit staying in one place. Like there's one mechanic where it's like the unit as a whole, and then there's one which is just the shot editor. Maybe this is just a weapon editor. Maybe I'm thinking about this wrong. Maybe we don't want to replace the unit tab. So maybe we do want two tabs. One is the unit tab and one is the weapon tab. And on weapon tab, we focus on one ship. So we need to be able to choose that from a dropdown. We're going to hard code it to start with one of the ships that's going to have good attachment points. And then I want to see that ship on screen. I want to then start controlling how it's firing. And maybe the unit tab is more about picking the weapon system and or just randomly generating a configuration and its flight pattern versus the weapon tab is all about keeping the enemy stationary so that we can figure out where the weapons are coming from, how frequent they fire, and how we can sort of customize it to make it interesting. All right, so we've got a bunch of stuff here. And okay, so I'm saying I want to enhance and complement the unit tab. A new weapon tab that the unit tab movement and weapons can leverage. This should be based on that, but improve it. Okay, so let's press enter. So when we're doing these, we can always use the arrow keys to navigate the questions, and we can hit tab to add notes, which I didn't know before. So what is the naming tone I want? I think, I mean, I like clear descriptive names. Let's go with hit tab. I want clear descriptive names, but I'm also interested in any kind of lore we could create that doesn't have super weird names. Like, I think the raptor names are a little bit weird. Um, I think Pulse and like Vaporizer, or I don't know. Just we got to come up. Give me like a list of 10 names and see if there's something that we can agree upon. At least for this laser shot. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I like the laser cannon, but that's a different type of weapon than this like burst of energy type of shot. Oh, we're gonna start Jim on the tile editor, but I'm gonna wait until we get this plan going. Okay. It wants to know what should be the hard coded. Oh, I don't know if we're gonna have to give it the ship number. So let's go with, I don't know, should we do a boss? That thing is menacing. Maybe this one. I mean, this one's got a lot. This one's very similar to the other one. Oof. This one might be cool. I see at least 4 like logical laser attachment points and a bunch of like missile launcher areas. This one's got a bunch. That chunky one that we've been fighting. And this one's got a bunch. Let's go with this. No, this guy. So it says it's a mine escort. Let's do tab. Use the. So this is gonna be a boss fight. Okay, so now should the hardpoint placement interaction work in V1? Add, drag. Yep, both of those sound good to me. What shot pattern controller should V1 use for cadence burst behaviors? Event sequencer. Define timing events burst, pause, alternate, simultaneous in a looping timeline. Um, I don't know, that like script like text pattern sounds really interesting. If we could get a little bit of both, could we do both the event sequencer and the script like text pattern? Like, could we somehow describe the shot pattern in text format, so that as you're working with the tools, you don't have to necessarily write the pattern, but we can sort of see it and visualize it and maybe save it to disk that way. That way we can have some kind of level format or unit format that we can write to JSON so that you can have like the shot patterns defined in our JSON enemy description. Just like being able to do this is really interesting. Um, okay. I'm not exactly sure what you mean here. So in the weapon tabs preview, what target behavior should be included in V1? Stationary and side-to-side dummy. What I'm envisioning is that we've got a player character that either I can control or not control. If I'm not controlling, it's got like this timeout where it will just start sort of going side to side. And the whole point is just to sort of like, I don't know, do I control the enemy? Like, what would make this fun? Like, if I control the enemy instead of the player and the player's just trying to dodge, that would be kind of cool. I don't know what it would take to create AI to simply move the player back and forth a little randomly or like trying to avoid if it has some kind of avoidance. Could you do that? That would be amazing. Can you create an artificial player? And so we can try from the perspective of the enemy to try to kill the player. That would be super cool. Then we could explode the player. Let's do it. Did that work? Oh no. Did that not work? Oh, that didn't work. Okay. Escape to clear notes. Let's try again. Tab to add notes. Oh, am I doing this wrong? Okay, so um, for the weapons tab, I think it would be kind of cool if we had artificial intelligence to move the player character and it's trying to avoid getting shot. So if you could move the player character around automatically left and right and try to avoid getting shot from the enemy weapon system. And then when we're in weapon design mode, we're playing the enemy unit and we're controlling them and trying to kill the player. And then we could explode them or something. That I think would be really a fun way to design enemies and to just play with the shot patterns and stuff like that. And so then I can configure the shot patterns and frequency and stuff on the left sidebar, and we're just like constantly shooting or whatever. So we're just moving back and forth and just like playing around with like what would be an interesting enemy. That would be super cool. All right, so where should the attachment points and pattern be persisted? It should be in JSON. No, no, no. There's no backward compatibility. We're not doing any backward compatibility. You are doing breaking changes anytime we're updating the game. We are still in fast prototype mode. There is never going to be backward compatibility. We just create the new formats as we need them. We load them up. They just work. If we need to change them, we change them. So each ship needs to have its own JSON representation for like all of these attributes. So we're going to evolve that over time. So I would say this is kind of a new dedicated enemy weapon JSON, but it has to be linked to a ship. So I don't like either of these options. This is all about like we're creating a representation for all this stuff, and so we're going to make breaking changes as we create the JSON representation. All right. All right. Should the first task include boss specific weapon cost balancing or only editor firing? This is editor. Yeah, definitely editor first. The cost stuff. Oh, did we even give that to? Crap. Um, I don't know if either of these are good. Um, I don't like either of these options exactly. So like I need to be able to select what type of unit I want to spawn on the map on the unit profile. And then on the weapon edits profile, I need to select that same unit, but now I'm configuring how its shot pattern is. The unit is all about the movement plus shot patterns, but the weapon editor is all about attaching where the weapons come from and the types of weapons that are available for a specific type of unit. So we somehow need to be able to dynamically change that as we get new art assets. And um, in both, we're selecting a unit. So they both need to be able to select the units. They both need to be able to select weapon types. Ideally, we can add new user generated types of weapons or weapon patterns so that we create this reusable system for editing things. Okay. All right. So I think that's both tabs are edited independently. Um, and it has to be easy to use. We're going to focus just on the weapons today. Okay, so now we're going to pick, oh crap. Okay, so I've got to click the button here. Okay, so we got that, and we'll press enter. How about plasma bolt? Plasma bolt. Whoop, what just happened? Plasma shot. Man, there's a lot of planning. Okay, so I'll put the phase 2. Please don't call these phases. Let's actually use our numbering system for new tasks. Okay, so now we have a plan and we can go ahead and read through it. So build a new weapon type in the enemy lab without removing the unit. Focus on hardpoint placement and shot behavior authoring for selecting a ship, starting with a certain type of ship. Phase 1, visible hardpoint editing, sequencing patterns, JSON definition, breaking changes are allowed. Um, we're going to keep both tabs. Initial name is going to be plasma shot. New model, cool. So it's going to have that hardpoint definition, which is where it's going to originate. It's giving us a shape of what it needs for the code files. We've got JSON files, a loader, something about migrating stuff. So there's hard-coded origin offsets that we're going to fix by having hardpoint-driven origins. And we can do alternating events. That's exactly what we want. So then here we're going to keep this stuff. We're adding weapon, left inspector. And we're going to maybe render the ship. I don't know if we want to make it big. I wish there was a way. So if I say no, stay in plan mode. Okay, okay, here we go. So I'm going to start talking. What I like to do is I talk through this. All right, so we should have some way of selecting the unit via drop down. And then a weapon picker. We've got some base things, but then we've got customized, like user created weapons that we give names to. So in the weapon tab, we're probably going to need to be able to name it. I think you already have some of that. It looks like you have hardpoint list and you can rename or enable, disable. That's interesting. Frequency, size, damage. I don't think we want to render at 3x. I'm going to maybe do 2x. 3x seems too big. And then being able to drag and drop, being able to choose which hardpoint you're adding or editing. And then previewing it live. Like I want to be able to see it shooting as we add the hard points. Like default to shoot forward. Um, so it came up with its own script language, which looks kind of cool. I'm assuming this is okay. So you tell it which slot, burst, fire. Oh, slot is count, and then the time interval. That's kind of cool. Alternate group, simultaneous. Wow, that's kind of cool. So I think we called it a plasma shot. There's going to be no migration. Do not migrate anything. Like we're starting over, so there's no migration. I don't know what this is about. We can make breaking code changes. You just create the new data format and we start from there. Don't migrate anything previously. We're moving forward fast and we're going to break existing behavior. So you need to just update tests to just use new stuff if we're going to invalidate, or we need to turn off some tests if we're going to break them entirely. Um, so, and let's use our numbering system. So I already talked about this, but I want to use our numbering system for tasks. Don't use phases. Just give me the list of new tasks that we need to implement, and let's go from there once we have an idea of what is the direction. So what I need in this plan is what are the next 5 tasks that you need to do to make this happen? And give me those numbers that are actually not used yet. We've got the whole task.sh tool that can allow us to figure out what is the next open task number. Okay, so we got that. Now give it this. So hopefully that will update it, and then we're going to get started on it. So I'm just going to have this work, and we'll come back because it's probably going to take 10 to 30 minutes for it to actually implement all these things, maybe longer. That looks great. So now we've got the task. This is going to be the progression forward. Foundation selectors, hardpoint editor, enemy weapon JSON format reset, plasma shot, runtime origin refactor, and shot pattern sequencer. Okay, that's great. Okay, so now that we have those, let's formalize the plan, get it locked in with these as your starting points, and then let's execute the plan. I don't even know what half that meant. Like, it'll just throw a lot of stuff out. I just want to start shaping it. So we're basically thinking of this as like clay. And there's so many decisions we have to make that this plan mode helps us articulate that, think about that, and then we can just say, yes, implement this plan. So we're going to let this cook, and we're going to come back to it most likely because this is probably going to take a while. I don't know what the current state of everything is, so let's just go ahead and run the app while it's preparing to start its plan. It has created those 5 tasks. Is it out of plan mode yet? Okay, so how many tasks did it tell us it was going to give us? So I want to ask it to do 170 through 174. Please implement task 170 through 174. As you finish one task, pick up the next task. Continue until everything is complete. Okay. You don't have to have perfect spelling, so we can just send that. I don't know if my other agent can actually pick up any of these. I think these are all dependent. I think the next module to limit like blast radius, I would have the second agent work on my tile system. But I'm going to do that in a different video. I'm not going to do that now because this is already going to be a lot more than I was expecting. But I think this will nail like these 4 things to start. We're going to definitely want to have more on this, but like we're definitely getting to the point of at least these 3 things with this plan that we put in place. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just say continue and hit tab, continue, tab, continue, tab. Now I'm in a special mode that's making it so that, actually, is that a mode? I don't remember that in the CLI. Tab allows you to queue up things. I think it is a mode. And pressing enter will send it right away. And then I'll just say, summarize what you have completed. If you haven't completed all of tasks 170 through 174, please continue working until they are complete. If you have finished, give me the full summary of what you've implemented. Make sure that you verify that it works, and that you can navigate these different things and customize the attachment points. So make sure that you can test this using Peekaboo or some other way of interacting with the game, to verify that the stuff works. Okay, and I'm just going to tab that up. So I'm hoping that that will get all of these tasks complete. I'm a little worried of giving it too many continues. Like 5.3 is really good, and I've had it do like gibberish stuff. So like I'm going to just limit it to 3 continues in case it does get stuck. And since we've got 4 different or 5 different tasks, I want to make sure that it's going to complete all of them. So hopefully this is enough to keep it going, and this is going to be awesome. All right. So I will check back in a little bit as this continues. I'll see you later. And by later, I mean a few moments. We'll speed up some of this stuff. I did like a little speed run recording, but this is taking a little bit longer to implement. It's done a lot. I've gone back and forth with it a little bit off camera, and I just want to show you where we're at because it's really exciting. It does take a little bit more time because I'm working with Codex 5.3, but like it is just crushing stuff, and it's so good. So I have had it fixing some stuff. One of the new enhancements is each of my agents has a name. I now have it so that it can put its name in its own app version, and it just works. And now what you're seeing is the new weapon lab. This has been tweaked a little bit. We can now add it to the map. with this button, and we can see its shot pattern. Now the shot pattern's a little bit funky because I was playing around with the shot size, so I've got to tone this down, I think. And I don't know if I have to actually select each of the weapons again and do that. The controls here are not entirely clear. So that's one of the things that I'm working on fixing. Bob's right now working on getting a new build up, so he just quit the app, it looks like, and is launching it again. So now let's see if he's going to interact with the app and what he's going to do. So he just switched to this mode. Oh no, looks totally different. Oh, well, he's not the best at UI. But now we can see that. Looks like he's on the place test. Okay, there we go. This is exactly what I want to see. Flying test. I don't know what inject into live run does. Doesn't seem to do anything. Unless they have to go off screen first. Like, I don't think he fully understands. Like, this is our flying test, and then if this was a boss fight, it's like, yow. Okay. So now I have to somehow like get in here. Whew. So that's kind of cool. And you can customize these hard points. You can just drag these around. It's a little laggy right now, but I can just drag where these come from. So if I don't want this one, I can just say remove selected. So I've got these shot patterns. And somewhere in here we can edit. Oh, edit selected. Like this is the left wing. Tuning. Holy cow. So you can see there's a lot of controls here. It really needs to be on the right side panel, I think. This needs to be docked so that I can actually see it. So we could do alternate or single or burst. And then if we add play test, you can see it's bursting out. We still have to work on like where the shots originate from, but like this is really cool to just be able to do this. And I have my app using my align tool to check the UI and just sort of visualize and make sure stuff is there. It's still like, this is not great. I'm still struggling with Codex getting UI right, but like this is a big step in the right direction. So I'm gonna play around with this some more, and then I'll do a follow-on video to flesh this out, and so that you can see my exact process, because I sort of sped a lot of things up. I'm gonna get more into like actually customizing it later on today. So just wait, because that part's happening right now. I made a lot of progress today with the weapon system. This turned out better than I expected. And I just want to summarize it. This video is way longer than I thought it would be. A lot of it went into the planning stage, and then I sort of sped up some of the work, and then I didn't record all of the work that happened throughout the day, but I asked it for some tweaks. It didn't work out of the gate, but we can see I've got already like 10 new commits. Some really interesting stuff happened. Anytime I have a little problem, like I can just hit R now and it resets the boss fight. So let's take a look at what it worked on. All right, so this is intense. There's a lot of controls, but I needed more controls because there's a lot going on with the weapon system. So when we're playing the game, I think it's paused right now. We can shoot. Now hitting R lets me play test against the boss or whatever unit I am creating. And I can update some of the guns and sort of play around with like what's the best way to attack and play with it. If I need to play test it again, I can just hit R and redo that boss battle. Now, if I want to use this as a normal unit, I can switch this over to sort of a standard fight, and I can just sort of see, okay, how does this unit feel if it's not quite a boss, if it's just like a heavy cruiser? And so we can just sort of see how that feels. Hitting R, it will reset the encounter, and we can see the like difficulty rating over here on the bottom right. So that's kind of cool. and we can always make it harder and stuff like that. So over on the left is all of the like customization, and I can choose what gun it's going to shoot. So I think if we switch to the plasma shot burst 2, that's going to actually give us this 3-pronged attack. And I can go in and click on any of these, and I can sort of control these. So if I do edit, I think that brings it over here. I think I just have to select it. And we can make it do more damage. We can make it bigger. So let's make it a little bit bigger. It's kind of small right now. And reset the encounter. And you can see the shots are bigger. I should be able to live control the size. We can see that. I can control the frequency, so we can make it spam this hopefully faster. Reset the thing. Frequency slower. Yes. So we want frequency lower. So I want faster attacks. So it doesn't quite feel right. And then we can control the direction. So we can side shoot. So if you wanted like a side shooting enemy, there was a couple of these in Raptor. You could do something like that, and you could have it like move to the side. We can play with the shot speed, make it shoot faster, make it more like deadly. Reset it. Is there an auto reset? I don't know if I built that in on this screen. Then we've got aimed. Like if you want to die quick, like, okay. Now imagine, no, let's change this over to standard fighter. So if this is a heavy cruiser and it's got this like shot pattern, like that's insane. Now these originate from underneath the ship. If both of these are firing at the same time, like that burst spread could be super problematic. Let's see if we can customize the fire at all. Got some more controls here for pattern sequencing. There's some presets. Let's do this one. Simultaneous. Reset and see what this does. Ooh. Ooh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. I'm still trying to figure out, maybe it's just the physics of it. Why? Wow. Why some of the shot patterns behave differently than I expect. So that's simultaneous. If I do plus pause, what is that going to do? And then we do alternating. Can I stack these all? Let's find out. So it does one volley, and then it's like an onslaught. Good luck. Ooh. So it's kind of cool. Let's throw on this. Oh, this is just a preset. Okay, so let's make this a boss fight. We're going to do a burst, and then I'll add a simultaneous, a pause, alternate, a pause, and then let's go fire. Okay, so let's reset and see what this looks like. You can see we've got this like pattern where it shoots, pauses, shoots, pauses. It gives you a little bit of time to come down here, and then it's like, whoa, got to move around. Now, if I didn't have the auto turret, like it'd be impossible to kill this with just this. And I can customize that some of these are fast or not, and I can lower the duration so I can make it pause for less time. Looks like I might have 2 back-to-back pauses, so we can get rid of one of those. And then the DT, the angle. Oh, let's make it ridiculous. 9 shots. What is this CAC for? I don't even know. Is that the distance between each? So let's reset and try it out. Just like Okay, so let's jack this number up. What does that do? Reset. Thing is spraying. What happens if we make something about this is changing the other settings that I don't understand? Changing the timing. I don't think that's what we wanted. Now I'm gonna need an undo system because I don't know what I broke. Oh, this must be the time. So I increased the like duration of the attack. Is that what I did? Okay, so by dragging this back, it's sort of forcing it to maybe compress a little bit more. Now let's see what this would look like if we have a standard fight. So this is where it just gets really interesting. Once you have tools like this, you can be like, okay, oh my goodness, like um, it's not a fair fight anymore. And so that is the burst mode. All right. So that's pretty fun. And then I've got like this whole script language that it came up with that I can control. So it's just like it's really interesting. Um, Now I had customized some of the hard points, and so this is the other thing I want to show off is if we switch weapons, let's go back to plasma shot. Um, Plasma shot. So what I had imagined in my mind was a way to control where these things come from. So this is an indication where the shot is going to come from. So we're going to switch to this other weapon, and I'm going to have two under the wing on either side. We'll put them right under this like mine looking thing. Those are going to be two of our hard points. If we click on that, we can see where it is. This one is currently above the ship, but we can make it below the ship as an origin, and we can make this one below the ship. So it's some kind of gun emplacement that's underneath the ship that it's going to originate from. We could bring it back a little bit. Um, that might help give us a little bit of like believability. If it's too close to the front, it can be a little bit weird. So let's stagger it back of like where it's originating from. Let's say it's coming from underneath the wing. And then I've got these two at the front of the ship. These are going to be above. So you can see on the art itself, there is this little cannon looking thing. I was imagining like a laser coming out, but right now I only have one type of gun. And so I can just put this here. Oh. And we can make this preview just a little bit bigger so it's a little bit bigger on screen. So that's that. Now let's play test it. Let's do the boss fight, restart. And oh man, that looks so wimpy. So I had changed the shot size. So let's increase the shot size. We can do that dynamically to match sort of the character of the player. That's too big. I feel like that's pretty good. And you can see that it's coming in from underneath with restart again. It's like a pretty good size for these cannons. I don't know if I need to move it back a little bit. This might be like a refresh rate issue. They could be moving so fast that they don't look like they're coming out properly. So let's move one back and see what that looks like. Okay, I do see it. I do see it originating from the attachment point. So I'm going to move this one back down. Just restart. I mean, if you really want to get crazy, if we've got art that looks like this, you would need to have like uh to have it like make it look like it comes out of the hole. Would require like recompositing this a little bit and having like this top part mask it so that it looks like it's coming right out. But we're gonna have it coming down so fast that that probably won't matter. And so I'll just put it there. That looks like that was looking good. It's moving so fast. If we slow it down a bit. Still seems like it's not. I don't know if I'm having lag. And if we let's do a burst. Okay, so I've got two that are aimed, and then the other one is not. Maybe reduce the size just a smidge. And then I don't know if the shot frequency really helps things. I think it's triggering too many updates when I'm dragging. Like that's something to ask. The shot size feels off to me, so we're gonna go back up a little bit. So just trying these different modes. Burst versus, what was this one? Simultaneous. That like suppressive fire. And so like that's the issue I think of moving that attachment point back. I don't like that. Because then it looks like it's not coming from underneath the wing. So I would probably move it more towards the front, depending, especially if you make it so that it can move. Now if we reset the engagement, I'm over here. It looks like it's coming from like that area, which I think is more believable. And then the others are going straight. Oh, and they're staggering side to side with a little bit of angle. And that's probably not the best for those guns, but pretty cool. I don't know if I'm losing frame rate by having this all open, but that's not how it works. So I'm really excited about this. I was so excited when I saw this. Like just seeing like this is exactly what I had envisioned. I envisioned it on the map here, but this like works really well because I can see it, I can interact with it, and I can customize it. So I really like that. Hopefully this was inspiring. Like if you want to work on a game, I think there's some really interesting workflows where you just build tools that like weren't possible. I worked on a game called Impulse, and I built a level editor for it in C# with XNA. We had an initial editor that worked. It was very manual. So then we got new art assets, and we were gonna like try and publish the game. This was we were at the Penny Arcade Expo and everything, but then everyone got full-time jobs except me, and I was still in college doing my master's. And at the time I was working for Apple, and so on the evenings I was working in the level editor after work. But then the team just decided they didn't want to continue on, and so that kind of like took the steam out of it. Needless to say, like I was spending weeks making a level editor. I made this editor in days, and it's not perfect, but from a playtest standpoint, like we had the mode where you could design the levels and then play it, see if it was fun, and then continue on. And that's what this is allowing you to build, is like these different playtest modes. I've got a bunch of different modes now. So I can just start play testing like different unit compositions. I can create stuff for like how the units are going to fire. And this just sort of takes me through the progression. It shows me the damage and stuff like that. This is a single. I can switch to a new unit, and it looks like I have to keep playing. This is a mine layer, so they're just dropping mines. And if I want to go to encounter, this is where I can do like the timeline previews and the shot previews. So I can sort of see when is it going to shoot. And I think it's annotating with the plus when it's firing and stuff. It's not entirely clear. It came up with its own design for like figuring this out. So let's play this encounter, and we're gonna see something. How that actually works out, I'm not entirely certain. Think that was the whole encounter, and I don't know what these colors. I guess it's giving us a legend down at the bottom, but it's like there's no color coordination, so I have no idea what this means. Um, I don't know if this is part of my format for like when they appear or how they appear. But that's that. If I hit restart, does it reset this encounter? See, that's a problem. This one's not hooked up for that, so I'm gonna have to request a fix for the encounters to reset because they don't currently reset with the R key hotkey. Cool. So that's where we got to. I'm really excited about this. Huge unlock of just being able to like build this stuff and prototype. Not everything is perfect when you do this, but like it's cool. I think up next, like I do want to play more with the weapon lab, but at the same time, I want to get the tile map looking a little bit better. Um, this road isn't really doing it for me. And the random sand patches not on the shoreline or next to the shoreline aren't really working for me. So those are some things that we've got to work on. That might be something I focus on just to make the art look a little bit better. Because I'm kind of tired of looking at this like water that doesn't really look like water. And I want it to more closely match like what I got. Should be on my desktop. Like this texture like was just so cool. I want art that's like this style, this level of color, this vibrancy, I think is kind of fun. So if I can get a tile map that can get generated to generate this type of stuff, that'll be super cool. And if I can animate the water, that'll be really cool. That's where I started. And this is where we're going in terms of like control, units, enemies, stuff like that. There's so many things that go into a game, and just having controls and things like this to do all that is really exciting. If you learned something, hit the like button. If this was cool, hit the like button. I'm going to be making more videos about Codex and working with agents. It's not all going to be game focused because I've also got a spider app I'm working on. I've got a coffee app. I've got a presentation app, a timer app. And it's really easy to spin up a new idea and play around with it. And what was really exciting about this was just being able to have my daughter play with me and just have like a mode where she could hold the shoot button and I could sort of fly around and dodge things. I think this boss needs to move around. It's a little too static. So one more thing to fix up, but that's just a prompt away. So it's really exciting. I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy.